Good evening, friends. I'm CV Sharma back with another video. The topic of discussion now is parallelogram law of vectors. And earlier video I have discussed about the triangle of vectors, and I gave a glimpse of the parallelogram law of vectors. So the crux of this problem is that whenever you have the head and the tail of the vector, if they are not matching, if the tails are matching, then you can use this parallelogram law of vectors. So basically what does it mean is that suppose this is the vector q bar and this is the vector p bar. So this is the p bar and q bar. And again, here when the tails are matching, you can use the triangle of addition only when you have the head and tail matching. So this, in order to match the head and tail, we draw a vector parallel to that of q bar. And here is q bar, the parallel vector of q bar. And now for these two vectors, the resultant is like this. And now similarly, we can reach to this point by even drawing the vector which is parallel to p bar. So that's what we do here. And in the process, you complete a parallelogram, and hence it's called the parallelogram law of addition of vectors. And then the r bar is finally, that's nothing but the sum of the vectors p bar and q bar, and p bar plus q bar. That's as simple as that. So that's the idea over this parallelogram law of addition. So here, so the p bar and q bar, the diagonal of the parallelogram passing through their common point will represent the magnitude and direction of the resultant vectors p bar and q bar, and r bar is p bar plus q bar. So this is the idea of parallelogram law of addition. The earlier video I gave the glimpse of this one. I hope that would be clear. And please watch the earlier video on the triangle of addition. In that itself, I have discussed about this one. Now, what is this analytical method? So here you have some of the things are like the analytical method is about so what is the magnitude of the resultant and those things, and considering OA and OB as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram constructed, we drop a perpendicular CD and OD produced at right angles of triangle ACD. Okay, this is some mathematical stuff, and then finally you end up with this one, whether it's p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, that is the resultant vector, the magnitude of the resultant vector. So this is the final formula I want you to remember. This is the magnitude of the resultant vector. Okay, this can be done. This can be done in different ways. I have this can be done by using the Pythagoras theorem itself. So first of all, let's check up the. Okay, I will do the detail here. Let me do the cosine rule first, and then after that, it's straightforward. This will be very easy. So what does this cosine rule basically is that? Let's see this the cosine rule. First, let's understand the cosine rule. Cosine rule. So what does it say basically is that if you have a triangle, I have drawn a triangle over here. Drawing a triangle. So that's a triangle for you. And now let us say the sides of the triangle, the vertices of the triangle or ABC. And now the sides, AB side happens to be like C, and AC side is B, and BC side is actually A. So what does this cosine rule says that? It says that the side, I can choose any side, like it says that A square happens to be like B square plus C square. The length of the side A can be represented like this: B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. A refers to the angle A. A refers to angle A. This is what the cosine rule says. So if you want the side B can be written as B square is equal to A square plus C square minus 2AC cos B. Like this you can write. And now here B comes, here the angle B comes. Rest of the things are A and C. Like this, I will remember. So the same way you can also remember. So you have C square is equal to A square plus B square. So if C is coming, A and D will come minus 2AB once again. And again, here you want C square. So angle C will come over here. That is cosine C. So like this, one can remember this technique of how to write the cosine rule. So this is one of the ways, and if you have your own methods, you can remember. Now, how do we get this cosine rule, and then how do we apply the cosine rule over this in the vectors? I'll let you know. So it's a very simple. In a very, I'll go by the mathematical method, and you have the proof over there in the PPT, and just mail me whoever wants this PPT, and I will send you that. So if you are particular about the method, what is shown in the notes and the PPT, okay, that's okay. So I do my own stuff like this that I have taken from the textbook. What I'm referring to, that is Sanjeev Kumar textbook. So from that I have taken, and here this is my more or less the methods are the same, but I do in my own style. So let us say this AD is a perpendicular. I draw over here, and let us say this perpendicular. This portion is X. Let us say, and this portion, the BC length, that would be like A minus X, right? So this is what we have, and now I can choose this is side C and this is side B. And now simply what we have to do, let us say this AD length, the perpendicular is of height h. So that's how we start with. And now let us write the equations. Now it's pretty simple actually. It's not that difficult. So let us, what do I do is I'll find what is first cos B. What would be cos B from this figure? So I take this right angle triangle, this ADB. So the cos B happens to be X by C, right? X by C. So similarly, I have first cos B, and then I can replace X with C cos B. So let me have this in hand. And now simply I need to apply the Pythagoras theorem. That's all I had to do. And now I have h square plus x square. So you can write this h square plus x square is equal to c square. That's the first part of the Pythagoras theorem. And now go to this triangle, other triangle, which is ADC. In that you can apply the Pythagoras theorem once again. So you have once again h square plus a minus x whole square. So a minus x whole square, that happens to be like b square, right? Almost the recipe is ready for us, and then what you have to do is just a matter of eliminating the stuff, and then you get the things done. So now I subtract one from another. So I subtract these two. So I have what I have is x square minus of a minus x whole square is what I have. That should be equal to c square minus b square. One of the relations I will get. Don't bother about which relation I am going to get. This is very pretty basic stuff. So I will use the format a plus b to a minus b type here. So this is a square minus b square type. So x square a plus b. So x plus a minus x. And the a minus b part will be x minus a plus x, right? Like this I can write. So that is equal to c square minus b square. And now this x and x is down. Now you have a multiplied by 2x minus a, right? That is equal to c square minus b square. Almost done we are. And now a multiply over here, you have 2ax minus a into a is a square. That is equal to c square minus b square. And now this minus b square onto this side, this entire terms onto this side. So what happens is b square is equal to c square plus a square. You have minus 2ax over here. So x we found it as c cos b, substitute over here. That's what our formula is. So b square is equal to c square plus a square minus 2ac cos b. So this is how we solve the problem. So cos b is nothing but x by c from this, which we get. That is adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So as simple as that, you can derive the cosine rule. And now you have this cosine rule recipe in hand. So how do we apply this to vectors? What is happening over here? I'll let you know. And now when you consider the triangle of addition, let us say this is the triangle of addition. So this is vector 1, and then this is the vector 2. And now you connect these two like this. This is my resultant vector, right? So this is how we start. So this is my R bar, that is equal to, let us say this is my P bar and Q bar, and this R bar is nothing but Q bar plus P bar, or P bar plus Q bar, in whichever the way you like. And now, as I told you, what is the angle over here? That's what you need to see. The angle should be measured only when the tails of the vectors match, right? But the stuff what you have, this one is here, when you push this vector, I was talking about the sliding the vectors. Now, if you push the vector like this angle becomes theta, and this angle becomes 180 minus theta, which I mentioned in my earlier videos. So this is 180 minus theta. And now what I want is the magnitude of this vector R bar. So the magnitude of the vector is nothing but the length of this vector. So that is mod R bar. This mod R bar, will simply write it as R. And this mod Q bar, we simply write it as Q. And the mod P bar, that is the modulus of the vector P bar, we simply write it as P. And now these are the lengths of the sides of the triangle. And now I have the angle 180 minus theta over here. What I want is the magnitude of this side. So let us say this A, B, C. And I want the length of the side AC now. So we can apply the cosine rule. Cosine rule, it says that R square happens to be like P square plus Q square, P square plus Q square minus 2PQ, and the angle between the sides P bar and Q bar. The angle between the sides P bar and Q bar is, this time it's 180 minus theta. So cosine of 180 minus theta. So P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos theta. Instead of theta, you have 180 minus theta. But cos 180 minus theta, we know very well. Cos 180 minus theta happens to be negative cos theta. So that's the twist in the tail over here. So when you plug in minus cos theta, that's the reason you get R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. This is the reason. So R, you get it as, it looks like cosine rule, but their actual cosine rule have the negative sign. But when you're writing the cosine rule to generate the resultant of the vector, you get the plus over here. The reason why you get the plus is because the angle what we consider will be 180 plus 180 minus theta, which is the linear pair, which forms the linear pair with the angle theta, which forms the linear pair with the angle theta. So that's the reason you get like this, P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. That's the stuff what I want you to learn. So that's it. We conclude this video at this point. I just explained how do you get the resultant of the vectors using the cosine rule. I derived the cosine rule over here. So derivation of the cosine rule is not that important. If you want to give a try, you can give a try. It's up to you if you want to learn the knowledge. But it's what I want you to know is how do you learn to apply the cosine rule. That's where I conclude. Okay, I hope I conveyed the message to you and hope you understood. And thank you all for watching the video. And then hit a like, subscribe, and then please share among with your friends. And thank you all, and hit the bell. Don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe the channel. Thank you all.